Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe we can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am Pinkie, the housewife. And I'm only carrying this on one channel today, but I will be putting it on the other channel. Thank you all for being here. Oh my God, we got a lot to go over, and a lot I want to bring back to your attention. Okay. So before we do all that, let's go ahead and get the house rules out of the way first so we can get into it with no interruptions. Welcome everybody to the Pink House. Go ahead and hit that like button. You all know hitting that like button helps you too to keep me in the algorithm. Okay? Because when they see you hit that like button, a thumbs up, or whatever you want to call it, it makes them think, oh gosh, people want to watch this video. They push it out into the algorithm. So it helps me. Okay. Y'all don't understand, but it really helps the content creator. Okay. It really does. All right. And it's not like I'm asking you for $100,000 before this live is over or give me some land. I just want you to hit that like button. Okay. So hit that like button. And guess what? It's free. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Okay. So every time I drop the video, go live or short or anything I do, you'll be notified. You must get that because you never know what I may be talking about. All right. And thank you guys. So go ahead and do those two things so we can go ahead and get on with the matter at hand. Y'all know it's been a long time coming. Y'all know that today, August 19th, let me just go ahead and put his picture up here so y'all know who I'm talking about because I'm only talking about one person. Okay. Happy birthday, Nolan Wells. Today, if he was still here, like he should have been. Okay, let me drop this so y'all can see. This is a day of remembrance. Okay, if he was still here like he should have been, he would be 19 years old. 19, still a child, still a teenager, still can't be making no major decisions about anything. Mom and daddy still take care of and make the decisions. You may just agree with them, okay? And his beautiful family, Christine and Elmo. Thank you all. Thank you both for having such a beautiful son, a wonderful son that was, although he was taken too early from you and taken from the world. Because I think he would have been, he was after great things. Great things was coming his way. Things, because everybody that mentioned his name, they talk about how his heart, how kind he was, how this and that. Everybody talks about it. Okay? Everybody talks about how kind he was. He was a peacemaker, a giver. Yes, everybody talks about it. Yes, so that's what we're going to do today. All right? We're not going to let his death be in vain. We're not going to let the devils win. You know, them devils and demons. We're not going to let them win. But today, today is August 19th today. And also it's his birthday. Marks what would have been Nolan Wells' 19th birthday. A day that should have been filled with laughter, his family telling him what to do, and he telling them, I'm grown now. Mom be saying, you ain't grown yet. Yes, I'm 19 years old. They be saying they grown and ain't even grown. Don't even know how to do nothing yet. Can't even wash their own clothes. Can't do nothing. And I'm grown now. It's the day that we should be celebrating. His family should be celebrating. Instead, it's a day of remembrance. We're going to look back and remember him. Remember all the wonderful things he did and would do. You know what I mean? Even those so-called friends of his be trying to pretend like. And let me just say this. I think I was the one that coined the word so-called friends. Because when I got on the I'm going to take credit for it though. Because I even threw up a thumbnail and called it so-called friends. Yes, I did. And that was a while ago, a long time ago. But anyway, I'm glad it's just like the Martell. We call him Demon Boy, the Demon, or Demon Boy. That's it. Okay. Now we just got to find a name to call that officer Tatum. I had a list, but we're gonna have to look at that list that I had and see which one of those names that's gonna fit him quite well. Let me see, can I find that list again? I had a list of names for his butt. Let me see. Is this the list of names? Where is that list of names? Because just because I'm not talking about him right now, that don't mean uh those names I just not gonna use them. Let me see the list of names. Where did I put that list of names? Shoot. Because we're still trying to figure out a name for him. Hell, I mean, I didn't mean to curse, guys. I take that back. Y'all know. Well, I'll find that list of names. I may already have it on here. That list of names. I don't see it, but anyway, I'll find it and show it to y'all again. But anyway, so today is August 19th, his birthday. Okay, he still is Nolan Wells, unalive at 18, but today is his 19th birthday. He would never be 19, but we can still celebrate his birthday, guys. Now, Nolan's story has touched hearts across Mississippi. They say they have, but they mourn for him. I don't know. We'll just say the decent people, the ones that's not devils and demons. across Mississippi. If you're not a devil or demon in Mississippi, we're talking about you. You it touch your heart. We ain't talking about those demons and devils, okay? But also across this whole country and even in other places outside the U.S. Everybody is talking about the Nolan Wells death, his murder. Exactly. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. His life, his smile. He had a radiance about him when he walked into a room or stand. If you ever notice any picture, you can't show me not one picture of him with all them so-called friends. The minute you see a picture, he stands out. I mean, this young man stands out through the whole crowd. You see videos of him dancing with teachers, with friends, with everybody. And no matter who he's with, he stands out. He got that glow, that light about him. And I do think they wanted his energy. Some people hang around you just for the energy that you give off. Now, remember that video we did last night, the live I did last night, where the other guy talked about how Nolan was really his friend. The other ones didn't give a ish about him, didn't care nothing about him. The one that's mixed, the one that got the white uncle that's biracial. The other boys didn't care nothing about him. They didn't care that he was biracial. They didn't care that he lived with his white family. They didn't give a darn about that. Only time they cared about him is when Nolan had him around him. And then they didn't listen to him. They treated him like nothing. Because he was some part of the group. Nolan was part of the group. Because to me, in my opinion, just my opinion, they wanted to harvest his energy. They wanted his energy. Now, you can't tell me people, demons and devils don't want your energy. If you don't believe that, that's okay. Like I said, this is my personal opinion. Okay? But his life, his smile, and his promise was cut short too soon. When I say too soon. But his name continues to echo throughout every conversation about justice, truth, and accountability. From the moment Nolan went missing on July the 4th, the questions began. What happened that night? Who was he with? His so-called friends. Was he with them white boys? Why did the story change so many times? Why did their story change so many times? Each day since has been a search for clarity, the truth. We just want the truth. His parents just want to know what happened to their son. They just want the truth. You can't get the truth out of them young men no matter what you say, because they are using their white privilege. They are being protected by the officials in Mississippi. They grew up with them white hats on their damn heads and them long white robes. And they're going to continue. It's a code. They use that code all during that CTO call, dispatch call. They used that code when they was talking to that Tatum man in that first interview with Warren. They used that code when they was talking to the other guy, Shepherd, whatever his name, Tristan or whatever, Shepherd, the one that was mixed. They used that code when they were sitting on that stage with the attorney right next to them. They was using that code. Y'all better wake up and see what's happening. Y'all better wake up. Because if they can do this to Nolan, now they got the whole administration involved in this. Y'all see how deep this shit goes? It goes deep. It wasn't deep before, but this is going deep because they know a lot of people on social media is getting to the truth. Or and probably already said the truth already. Why do you think they haven't had not one press conference? Not one press conference. They ain't. Why do you think Sheriff Ledbetter, before an investigation started, he said, hey, nothing to see here. It's just a drowning. He drowned. How do you know? The body just got found and he drowned. No, 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 no. He was a strong swimmer. They think every Black person can swim. My kids swim like fish. I can't swim, but my kids swim like fish. And I always made sure they could swim. And you think Black people don't have a pool? We got a pool. You think Black people don't own a boat? Had a boat for over 20 years. Not that little shit that y'all be riding, that y'all think you got because y'all got money. The kind that you drag behind when you want to out of the water with a big pickup truck. No, I have the kind that you couldn't drive. I had the kind that would make 5 or 6 boats out of the shit that you was riding around in. I had the kind that you couldn't bring out of the water. It had to stay at the marina. And you think Black people ain't got shit. That's the story y'all are told. So when I'm talking, and let me go back. Let me go back to Mississippi. Yes, I lived in Mississippi. So I know how dirty y'all are. Y'all some dirty folks down there. You some dirty demons down there. So you talking about you ain't not all Black people are like what y'all think. Just because I scream and cuss and fuss, that don't mean I don't understand. And I where y'all are going or are right now, I already been there, done that, and had that. Put it like that. And anybody in Mississippi know, Pinkie already been there, done that, and had that. And y'all just getting it. Okay. Don't. Okay, let me just calm down. Okay. Because the story changed so many times. Every day since his passing, there's a different story coming up. We got stories, and let me just tell you what, let me just tell y'all something. Let me just say this. I'll say it at the end, but let me just say this. The search for his family, his mother, Christine, and his father, Elsmore, and his supporters have had carried this unwavering strength, looking for the truth, that y'all trying to silence them. You trying every which way to silence them. And I'm talking to all of y'all officials, even that little pissy tail woman that act like she can't say shit. Oh, I'm not gonna curse. Okay, I'm not gonna curse. I'm not gonna curse. I'm gonna be good. Okay. Let me see who all we got in here today. That'll help uh, bring me back down because y'all know. Okay, let's see who all we got in here. Thank you, Lady Leo. Leo lady. She was the first one in here. She's always here, helping keep things straight, making sure I don't go off the rails. Thank you. Good evening, Pinkie. My Prince Phoenix and chat. Happy hump day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Phoenix says happy. What is today? Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday. I think today is Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah. I just got through talking to Phoenix. They're out watering flowers and stuff. Okay. But yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Miss Butter, 487. Happy heavily Heavenly birthday, Nolan Wells. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo! Hello, Miss Pinky Mods in chat. Mm. Hi, BT. This is Black Titanic. For everybody that don't know, she's a content creator. She's boots on the ground. She's one that been a content creator for years. Boots on the ground. She goes after the story. She don't just let a story come to her. She'll go get the story. And make sure you go over to her channel and show her some love. Happy heavenly birthday. Breaking news for our other 4 kids. Camilla. George Roach said they couldn't take him off the case, but he has finally been removed. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Texas go by their own rules, like Mississippi. And every day these people are trying to cover up. They always trying to cover up. That's the whole thing. I'm glad you brought the word cover up because this is all a cover up. This is all they've been doing is covering up. And they can't, the minute they throw the dirt over it or the blanket over it, the YouTubers, the content creators, the Instagrammers, TikTokers, and everybody in podcasters, we just throw it right back off. The minute they throw it up or try to sweep it under the rug, we raise that rug right back up. And they getting tired. That's why they're coming after us now. That's why they're coming after everybody. Because they're trying to shut you down. They're trying to scare you. Nolan life was just beginning. Age 19 as an adult. I feel sorry for his parents. I really do too. Hi, Cicely and Bonnie. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Exactly the only time. Mm-hmm. You're right. Good point, Pinky. You're right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Happy Tuesday to you too. What is this, Lossy Jones? 4807. Thank you. I'm so glad to see you here. Today is Wednesday. Are you serious? Today ain't Tuesday. Sure is. Today is Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Oh, Lord. I lose track of time. Thank you, Leo lady, for letting me know. Because you know I lose track. I forget. You know, I know it's funny, but y'all know I forget the days of the week. I told everybody if I need a job, but I don't want to work for me. I'll work and give the money to someone or people that I think that need it. You ain't got to pay me, but you got to pay me to work there so I can give the money to other families. Okay? I'm serious. I will work, but I don't want to work at a whole job for a whole week. No, I'll do a job a day, do a work here for a day, or 2 days to max. Because I don't think I can work the same job for 3 damn days. Hell, Lord, I'll go crazy. Depends on whether I like it. But then that'll feel like I'm working for real. I don't want to work for real. But I will, if anybody out there want me to come in and work at your company, and we can videotape me working, we can do the show with me there on the job working, to bring eyes to your company, promote your company and everything. But you got to pay me because that money needs to go to somebody. Okay? I don't need the money. But there's a lot of people out there that need that money. And I would love to give that money out to someone that need it on camera. So that way y'all know that Pinky ain't playing no games. She giving this money to somebody that need it. Only reason I know because I'm on grandmom duty. Oh, okay, you on grandmom duty. You did say that. Grandmom duty. Y'all, you was on grandmom duty yesterday, wouldn't you? I thought so. Okay, let's go ahead and get on with the matter at hand, okay? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get on. July the 4th, Nolan Wells reported last seen. Let me get my glasses. Y'all know I can't see nothing. I can't see a lick of nothing. We can read all week. Okay. You on grandma duty all week. Okay. Ooh. See there. Sometimes when I'm on duty all week, oh my God, I'd be broke down, toe down, I'd be crazy. Phoenix be running the show. He be running the show. But guys, I do want to this is real. I do want to go and work at a company. This is not just I do want to work at a company for a day or two. And I do want you to pay me so I can give that money to someone else that needs that money. Okay. And in return, I will be live there at the job doing whatever you need me to do. I prefer to do, uh, n- depends on what it is now. Don't, okay. I will have to see what it is. Okay. I'm back to mobile Sunday. Okay. All right. Okay, let's now y'all know on July the 4th of this year, Nolan Wells reported last seen near Horn Island. Conflicting accounts emerged about his whereabouts, and then on between July the 5th through the 7th, search efforts intensified. GPS data and phone records began to surface. But you got to remember on July 6th, that's when they found his body between that on July 6th. 2 days later, that's when they found his body on the west tip end of Horn Island. So, and I have a thing about that. I believe, in my opinion, his body was taken there. His body wasn't there the whole time. I believe in my opinion, okay, just my opinion. And this is alleged, but in my opinion, I believe he was unalived on that boat. And there's two people's names, if you ever notice, they never talk about. They never talk about. I can't say the name, I can spell it for y'all. Bart. They never say his name no more because he's trying to he wants to be a professional football player. So his daddy and him trying to make sure his name is being kept out of it. Okay? Now, also, you hardly ever hear Wyatt's name. If you ever notice it, Wyatt's name is kind of kept secret too, or out of the loop. Have fun. I'm breaking from grandma duty for 1 week. Ha ha. Black Titanic needs to rest. In my opinion, I'm thinking the same thing. Thank you. His body was never on that island. In my opinion, he was unalive on that boat. That's doing all that commotion that you hear during that sea tow call. And that woman, why would that woman say, how many people breathing on the boat? That don't make no sense. I had the Coast Guard come out for us before. That question never was answered. We were stuck in a storm once, and we had to call. That question was never asked. How many people breathing on on your boat? Do y'all need a tow? Do y'all need a captain to come out? Yes, we have never turned one down. Yes, you talking about to a woman that owns a boat that would dwarf the size of their boat and make their boat look like a newborn baby. Well, my boat looked like an overgrown house, a big hippo compared to their boat. While on my birthday, they found him, but that's why they removed his organs because he was already delayed before hitting the water. Okay. So removing of organs makes it difficult to tell if water was in his lungs. He didn't have no water in his lungs, in my opinion, BT. Just in my opinion, I think he was already unalive when they placed him in the water. When they put him in that water, they waited after everybody started reporting him missing. Remember that boat went from all over the place. After Warren said they do not need a what did he say? They don't need no help. They don't need no tow in. If your boat is sinking, well, we have never turned down help. So don't just go from what them white folks tell you. You're talking about a black woman telling you we would never turn down help. And you think, oh, black people don't own a boat. Y'all take that shit somewhere else. Black people did own boats. We owned a boat for over 20 some years. And we didn't start out with no damn little bitty boat. We started out with the big daddy. That one, I can take a whole family with us for a whole week and give you your own space. And we have never turned down anything. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about a boat. I hate to bring it in. I hate to bring the fact that we owned one before. And I know what happens. And I know how a call would go to dispatch. I know how they would go. You don't turn down no help. What you gonna do? Get out the boat and start walking on water? You ain't Jesus. You ain't gonna be walking on no damn water. Your ass gonna drown. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was deleted or unalive before hitting the water. Yes, before he hit that water. Because they went back to place that body. Somebody, I'm just gonna say they went back to place that body there. Yeah. So, but anyway, July 8th through the 10th, the community rallies. Early reports raised questions about the inconsistencies in the witnesses' statements. On July the 11th through the 14th, the investigators released preliminary findings. Family faces online threats and misinformation. And ain't nothing is being done about it. But they want to protect the white boys, all right? Why nobody has been, all of them white boys should have been taken in for questioning. Their boats should have been confiscated and checked. July the 15th through the 18th, press conference and interviews, including Don Lemon Live and Nancy Grace segments. It brings national attention because when they talk about it, it's national. And Don Lemon is going to bring you the truth because Don Lemon say he's a truth seeker. He's the one. Y'all better watch Don. Y'all better go over and watch Don in the morning and in the afternoon because I do my share of Don and I love Grace, Nancy Grace too. On July the 19th, which is today, the case became a symbol of transparency and accountability in the Nolan's death investigation. And today is the day that they're celebrating his life. They're celebrating his life. Christina Wells composed and her determination to keep Nolan's story alive. Warren Hudson's statements versus the GPS data and eyewitnesses timeline. We're going to talk about that and we're going to go over that. Okay. And then also the emotional toll that is taken on the family. And not just the family, the supporters too. Because we're out here working hard. And I told y'all, go over to Jay Morgan. She's the white girl. Go over to her. She is on it. They've been trying to take her down. They've been taking her down. She's down now. She was down yesterday when we went to look. She was down yesterday. And I looked before my live. She's still down. They took a page down. Okay. But we're going to turn this tragedy into an advocacy for young people's safety and the truth, reporting the truth. Because a lot of these major outlets are not reporting the truth on these young people. Let's go ahead and watch our first video. Pinkie, my grandbaby stole to the second and third base and came home. Woo! You there? That's what I'm talking about. That's one. You tell him I said hello. You tell him I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. Tell him Auntie Pinkie is proud of him. Now I'm only auntie to him. Okay. Now everybody else that got grandbabies ain't auntie to everybody's grandbaby because I don't know y'all them. But I'm auntie to Lady Leo baby only, and he the only one that can call me auntie. Oh yeah, and Black Titanic's great granddaughter. I'm Auntie Pinkie to her too, so she can call me great auntie. But y'all grown folks, I'm no that damn auntie to y'all. Shit, because y'all old enough to be my mom. But Lady Leo lady, her grandbaby, and Black Titanic's great grandchild can call me Auntie Pinkie. The rest of y'all I'm not gonna accept it. I don't even want to hear it. Don't even ask me. Okay, now let's get on with the matter at hand. The first, I'm gonna show y'all the first video. Let me go ahead and get into it. Oh Lord, I tell you. First thing, before we do anything else, we're going to listen to the CETO call one more time. Okay? I want y'all to listen to it fresh because we ain't heard it so many times and we ain't heard so much stuff. And this here whole group, let me just show them to you. This whole group right here acting like that CETO call ain't about shit. And he's the one that's bringing it up. He's the one that's telling them this. So they got it in their mind that because he said so, but he's just making $1 off y'all. Okay. But y'all need to know better. Okay. But they do say people in Mississippi stupid as fuck. But I ain't say that. Okay. So, but we're getting ready to listen to that CETO call once again. Okay. We're going to listen to this CETO call again. I got it on one of my videos, the whole thing, but I swear I don't feel like looking for it right now. So I remember the source where I got it from before. So, okay, this is what Taylor House Publishing. Okay, here we go. Let me get it started. This is only 14 minutes and 11 seconds, but are we going to listen to the whole 14 minutes and 11 seconds? I don't know. It depends. Here we go. This is the Janetta. I knew I couldn't find her name. Let me write it down again. Janetta, the audio engineer. She's the audio engineer that broke the story on the audio. So that way we can all hear it clearly. And she used the real, she got it from this the real audio. Okay, here we go. All right.
Before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did.
Let me ask you, can y'all hear that or do I need to turn it up? I think I need to turn it up some. Let me turn it up just a little. And she's going to do the explaining and I'm going to shut up.
what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this. Before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that C-toe call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically use techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the C-toe dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. And you can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here.
All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessing. All praise is due to the Most High. And as Ephesians 5:11 says, take no part in the works of darkness, rather expose them. So I commend my dear sister, our beautiful sister, Gianna Brantley. She's a audio engineer, and she was able to professionally dissect and break down and make the C-toe call clear that was allegedly made on the boat where many people feel like Nolan was being killed in the background. And so she just gave you the background. Now we're going to listen to that breakdown with what she interpreted to be said. And, you know, as she said, it made her emotional. And of course, for us, it's not shocking any longer because someone has already kind of broken it down. But this gives you a professional aspect of what is really said and being said on that call. Just listen.
You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, a digital audio workstation, basically using simply time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see when you're watching regular videos or when you're watching a movie and you hit pause. So basically the time code on the screen is there to identify the precise location within my working session, not to represent the elapsed timestamp displayed by the original video player. And I hope that makes sense. For this first video, I'm sharing only approximately 37 seconds of the call. I originally intended to continue much further, but once I separated the dispatcher from the boat and started concentrating exclusively on the background dialogue, what I believed I was hearing became extremely difficult for me to process emotionally, and I needed to take a mental break. But I wanted to release this portion because some of the details that stood out most to me occurred very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play, read my transcription if you want to reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're thinking, can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
And we'll stop it right there before we listen to it again. As you heard the lady say, interpreting what she heard, she wasn't able to emotionally process. She was only able to do and perform this exercise on 30 seconds of the call. So hopefully our sister will be able to get more done so we can hear some of the things in the background. But from what I hear, she is spot on when they said, oh, is he really dead? And somebody says, do you think we can cover it up? And they said, and then the female voice said, is he really dead? And then somebody says, oh my God, oh my God. And then at the end of the call, because you remember Warren kept referencing his buddy Bart. And at the end, he says,
That's the name. That's the name that nobody's allowed to say anymore. If you notice, the boys, those young men, don't say that name. They say, my friend, my buddy, the other guy. Now they just start calling him the other guy. They don't say his name no more. They stop saying, why, excuse me, guys, messed up doing that first interview. Oh, I'm sorry. He messed up doing that first interview with Tatum, Taco Tatum, Tatum, whatever. But anyway, he messed up doing that first interview when he called his name, said his name, B-A-R-T. Then he started saying, my buddy, my friend. Yeah, and ever since then, he haven't messed up then. But whatever is happening is eating him alive. He looked like a shell of himself. Seemed like he ain't just, oh Lord, something is eating him up inside. That's what happens to you. The devil will eat you up inside. Because this is him. He's on the boat. Now you look at it. There. Now. Oh my Lord. I tell you. Yep. Don't see. That's what happens when you give your soul to the devil for richness, for whatever fame or whatever you want out of it. But see that name? Buddy. B-A-R-T on the screen. After he made that mistake in that first interview with Tatum, he don't make it no more. And the rest of them call him friend, my friend, or my buddy, or somebody. They don't call him by name no more. And they've gotten to the point, they don't even say Wyatt's name as much. They trying to eliminate them from the scene. But their names are all over that CTO call. Here we go.
Damn it, Bart. Like, when somebody does something that is messed up, it's questionable. That's what it sounds like that damn it, Bart means. But let's listen to this call once again from the beginning. We'll break it down piece by piece. Can we cover it up? Yeah, I thought all about that.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
And you notice once again, this is at the top of the tow call. And the reason they're probably calling the tow call is to once again handle this emergency. Let's take it from the top one more time.
Helps. Am I?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
So it's the damn it, Bart, for me at the end. That puts me in the mind that maybe Bart is the one who did something to our dear brother. We've heard Warren mention Bart on several occasions, but we do, if this is alleged what is being said, once again, I'm not saying it is, I'm saying this is what she's saying it is. We have at least 3 suspects on the boat. Warren, who's making the call, Wyatt, whose name gets called, and damn it, Bart. And several other people, because remember, I think, somebody released that photo. There was at least 7 people on that boat. And somebody else pointed out to me this right here. If you look at this picture, which is alleged to be the scene on the boat, where once again the boat is quote unquote.
That looked like somebody's leg. That looked like a foot or shoe. You know what? Remember, they said when they found the body, it was fully clothed. Think about that. Why would somebody say that? Even the Cajun neighbor said he was clothed. He had clothes on. Every report would say that, and people just forgetting all about that. No, that body was clothed, had clothes on. Why would you put clothes on? You ain't feeling something. You getting ready to leave. You got to go. You want your ish and got to go. And remember, he was fighting for his phone. There's a part where he wants his phone back. You're fully clothed, but you're fighting. You want your phone back. Give me back my phone. Okay.
Getting towed, but you see a leg hanging up out the boat, which many people feel is Nolan's. But if you look to the left, that guy looks like he is on the phone. That guy looks like he is on the phone. And then you hear a girl basically, real close who you can hear. And then you see another person, in that area. And so to think that this is the point where Nolan, once again, was killed is not far-fetched. If what we hear on that call is true, because they're checking on him and say, is he dead? Is he really dead? Oh, my God. So it's almost like maybe they were just up there torturing him, punching him, and, you're going to be our punching bag until we get home type deal. And then they may have went too far. Allegedly. I'm not saying that this is it, but, they're yelling like, get up, like they've been, throwing them down, wrestling with them, elbowing them, whatever the case may be. But, of course, the two nurses that alleged to have someone had saw the body that was transported said that, he looked like he had been tortured. Looked like his face had been burned. And you have to also add.
Oh, I'm glad he brought that up. Remember yesterday during my live, we brought that up. When the two nurses that, there was two nurses that saw the body or no information on the body, said or heard or whatever. The two nurses sitting side by side said that Nolan's body was shipped for the next autopsy. They had it shipped for the independent autopsy. The one place from Mississippi shipped it. It was face down. Sign of disrespect for one. When I first heard that, even before the nurses, I said, what the fuck? I'm not even in the medical field. I'm a housewife. And I said, that's some disrespect for ish I ever heard of. That's disrespect. That's showing disrespect. And they want you to know it. Not they trying to hide it. They want you to know that. Disrespect. And also the face looked like it's been burned. The body looked like it's been tortured. That means whoever did that autopsy, before they shipped that body, they made sure you get this body. And I'm showing y'all exactly. We are showing you exactly what we do to end like y'all. They're going to ship the body upside down, burn the face, and torture the body. Don't look at me like they ain't capable of such stuff like that. Y'all got to look at this is showing disrespect. This is showing this is what we do to end like y'all. This is what they're saying. That's in my opinion, because I know half of y'all ain't you ain't there yet. You ain't there yet. But this is my opinion, and it's allegedly. Okay, I know, because half of y'all ain't there yet. It's going to take a while for y'all to catch up. By the time y'all catch up, I'll be somewhere else on it. Okay, here we go.
Why was the closed casket? Now, it could be because the coroner down there in Mississippi allowed the body to decompose. Nurses.
The two nurses. You see what I say? The two nurses. Here it is.
That alleged to have someone had saw the body that was transported said that he looked like he had been tortured. Looked like his face had been burned. And you have to also ask, why was the closed casket? Now, it could be because the coroner down there in Mississippi allowed the body to decompose so badly that there was no way to have a closed caption. I think that decomposition was done purposely to prevent, any of the evidence to support nothing other than a drowning. But once again, the question is, if he did drown, I see a lot of people say, what are y'all? He drowned. He got drunk and drowned. When did he go in the water? He just, after they drove off in the boat and after he walked away from Katie, he just walked into the water right around everybody else and just fell in the water and drowned. And nobody saw nothing. So that is the point that nobody is even addressing, when they do these mock scripted interviews with these people. So they say they got them some evidence and they're going to present it to the grand jury. We are going to wait and see what that evidence is. But once again, many people think that, Nolan was possibly killed by his supposedly friends. And so once again, y'all let me know what y'all think about this new breakdown of the audio. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. I really thank y'all for liking, watching, and subscribing to this channel. And as always, I pray you have peace and blessings.
Now, y'all need to think about that. Body being shipped face down, tortured, face burnt. Think about that. Who would do all that? Why would you do all of that? Why? Y'all better get in line and start asking questions. Y'all better get in line and start asking questions. And stop. Oh, they wouldn't do that. Are you sure? Oh, yeah. Y'all just don't know. Y'all better get yourself straight. Get yourself straight. Don't think Mississippi. Let me just be quiet because I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be quiet. Okay? I'm just trying to make sure I put this down in the notes. So if anybody want to go back and listen to that CTO call, y'all can do it. Okay? Y'all can go back and listen to it. That's what I'm doing right now to make sure this is this information from Taylor House Publishing. That was good, wasn't it? Aren't y'all glad you got a chance to go back and listen to it after all the other stuff that you know now? You got a chance to go back and listen to it. See? Now, I always got a chance. I always got time for my doctor. Well, he said he ain't a doctor, but he is a doctor. It's Elliott. Elliott. Okay. I always got time for him. Yes, I do. Elliott got some more stuff. He's let's look at this because this is we're going back. We're going back. Okay, to the scene of the crime. Okay, so come on, Nolan. I'm not Nolan. Elliott. Okay. Now I have subscribed to Elliott just because y'all see it here. I have. I'm already subscribed to him. Not on this because I'm under my third account. I have subscribed to him on 2 accounts. Okay, so don't be playing with me. Okay, here we go. And while we do that, I'm gonna close these shutters over here. While we do that, make sure y'all put a 1 in the chat.
That was sent to me by the engineer that enhanced the audio on the CTO call. After sharing the short clip that was sent to me by the engineer that enhanced the audio on the CTO call associated with the Nolan Wells case, I realized that many people hadn't seen or heard the full audio. The clip I shared was just 20 or 25 seconds, but the full call is much longer. And many people in the comments let me know that they wanted to have access to the full call. So the engineer has sent me the full call, which I'm going to share here for you now. Here, like whatever you hear, do with it what you will, interpret it how you will, but this is the audio and take from it what you will.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up! Damn it, Bart. What'd you say? Hey. It's coming up. It's. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now. I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that. Everybody was on the phone. I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. Sure. I don't have the tag on here. It got ripped off. Reach me at 2. What? Yeah, everybody's off the way. What? No, we do not need that. Let me go look. Will, go. Hey, North. All right, are you ready? North 3 degrees. 46.72. Sorry, look. Hey, what do I need to send you? Yeah, what? Yeah, we do not have the VHF radio. Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79. Yes, we are at Horn Island. Yes. We were sinking, yes. No, we're not aground. We are in 17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water. I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes. You can tow it to Ocean Springs Harbor, or Fort Bayou launch. No, there's no tow. Hey, where is this? Drop in the water. Hey, jump in and pull the plug, Bart, while you're going. Look.
Muted. He said, I'll jump in and pull the plug. The name BART. Where are you going? They say the name, but then nobody's allowed to say that name no more.
Oh, they got here. Hello. They got here. Okay, what's going on? What's up? There are 0 adults on board. No. Nobody here is over the age of 21. Hello? Yes, there's lots of people breathing on the boat. Like 7.
Why would a sea tow dispatcher or operator, whatever you want to call it, ask is anybody breathing on the boat? I have never heard that. And I've been around boats, heard them talking on boats, from one boat to the other boat, telling you about bad weather coming up ahead or something going on up ahead, or don't go down to this island or whatever. I've heard many stuff, but I even when we're talking to them too, doing a call, I have never heard them say, is there anybody breathing on the boat? That is a code word. Watch out for all these little code words. Is anybody breathing on the boat? Isn't that a strange thing? Isn't that a strange? Tell me, do that sound funny or strange to you all? When did in the chat if that sounds strange to you. Or even when you do a replay. Tell me, do that sound strange? Is anybody breathing on the boat?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we have life jackets available. A Triton, 22-foot offshore, 22-foot Triton offshore sea flight hull. Okay, thank
you. Okay. There we go, guys. There we go. I had to show y'all that. I had to show y'all that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Y'all tell me right now, what do you think? I'm putting both of those back to back. So y'all, we got to remember, seems like we're forgetting where this thing started from. It started from that call, because to me, that call was an alibi. Now, there's one more I want to show you all. And then after I show you all this one here, no, let's go. Let me see, do I want to show you this one first? Because when I show it to you, it's only going to be a few minutes of it. And probably not even going to be 10 minutes of it. And then after we get through listening to this, then we're going to hear from an unexpected person that you all didn't realize getting ready to say something. Y'all getting ready to fall out in your chair. That's what happened to me. I fell out in my chair. Yes, I did. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Because this, I only want a few minutes of this here, because I want to bring this to you all's attention before I put on the last video. And if y'all want to see the full interview of that, what's his name, Tristan Shepard, y'all go watch my live from last night. I put it's on there. Okay? And I'm only going to play a few minutes of this, guys. Okay? This is Nancy Grace. I don't need the whole thing. I just need a few minutes of it, the very beginning of it. That's what we're going to listen to, the very beginning of Nancy Grace. And this is 3 hours ago, okay? 3 hours ago. Nolan Wells, an altercation with witness emerges, okay? Here we go. Just a few minutes of it. Because it's going to tie into everything. We're trying to tie these things together. We're trying to do a deep dive, tie together. My grandson said, what WYT friends asked him to go fishing with him. And I had to fuss at him to make him understand that I don't want a Nolan Wells case with him. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I hear you, BT. Sometimes we have to tell them things that they don't want to hear. Yes. And tell them why. Oh, thank the Lord, BT. Now, we're only going to listen to the first few minutes of this.
Into the death of a shining star, Nolan Wells, has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. A Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo.
2 confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. The Triton, as you said, left around 4:30.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when?
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
That from Secret Service Sam on.
You go and contact the people and tell them what you got. That's just like if you just witnessed a crime, somebody unaliving somebody, but then you're gonna go and contact the person that just got through unaliving somebody and tell them what you saw. Don't make no sense.
TikTok. Okay. How is this helping the investigation? I'm trying to make sense of so many people online making comments. Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything, especially if the video is time stamped. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubay joining me. He's joining us out of LA, formerly in the public defender's office. They try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Tricon boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
put him up.
And smoke. You know how many people were partying?
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind? You defend criminal cases. I bet everybody you put on the stand has either been high, drunk, or worse.
Right.
During the altercation, well, every witness is not a nun, a priest, or a virgin. Everybody on Horn Island was drinking, man. What are you talking about? I don't care if she took a drink. I want the video.
You want the truth, is what you want. You want the truth. And let's
and that would be the video.
A drunk person do tell you the truth, but everybody been drinking. All of them been drinking. The so-called friends and doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing up their nose and everywhere else, allegedly.
Remember, Nancy.
Okay.
Not consistent.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum.
He's one person I really don't want to hear. I don't care what he got to say. I don't care what he's going to say. I'm not here. I ain't got time for the lies. I ain't got time for no doggone lies right now and spinning half truth. I just wanted y'all to listen to the first part of that. I ain't got time for tater tart. I don't have time for his broke down lies. I really don't. Maybe another day, maybe another time. But when you're gonna come out the boat, line already. I ain't got time right now. Today is not a day to test me right now on whether I want to listen to some lies. No, I don't. You You're talking to the wrong person right now on that. And I'm not here for it right now. I'm not here for the lies. If you can't be honest, because she's gonna tell him that she ain't got time for all that shit that in her own words. But I ain't got time because I got another thing I want y'all to listen to, because we're trying to break down these lies. We ain't got time for somebody on purposely just gonna lie. Just gonna lie. Okay, let me find it right quick. Do I have it up already? Here it is. Which one is it? I think it's the one with the 11 hours on it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, just okay. Okay, here it is, guys. Let me just get it ready for y'all. Okay. Let me just get it everything all together. Now, it's not like, I'm going to tell y'all something. It ain't like I like this person at all. I can't stand it. Literally, I drag his ass every time I get a chance. But right now, it ain't about dragging him. Okay? He's saying some shit. I mean, he's saying some stuff that everybody needs to know. Okay? Let me, okay, here we go. That's, because some of y'all ain't opening up y'all's eyes. Some of y'all ain't opening up your eyes. That's what I'm saying. This is Black Homicide Files. Black Homicide Files. Okay? That information will be put down in my description box below my video. Leo said, out of the mouth of drunk comes the truth. The video will show who was involved with timestamp. That is true. And drunk people do say what's on their mind. They say exactly what's on their mind, exactly what they're thinking and how they feel. They'll tell you the truth. Whether they like you or not, they will tell you the truth in a heartbeat. You really want to know the truth from whether this person is using you and this and that? How they drunk, they're going to tell you. Yes, the drunk tell the truth. Yeah. They sure will. Even if you get them high, they high as a kite. They'll tell you the truth. They will tell you the truth. Okay, we're going to go ahead and listen to this. Okay, here we go, guys. It's 41 minutes and 37 seconds, but y'all going to get the gist of it.
Since he lost his life, I think it's okay for me to speak now. I'm going to insinuate that Nolan's life was taken.
Now, let me tell you, he talk a lot of bullshit. And he can't even get his own life together. He can't even get his own life together. He don't even take care of his own damn kids. But right now, and he's a hater. And he's a scammer. But right now, I ain't worried about that. His eyes is open to what he's seeing that's going on with the Nolan Wells murder. He see what's going on. And he's just like one of them drunk folks. He gonna tell you the truth.
I do not believe he accidentally drowned. If he drowned, he was forcibly drowned.
That is Dr. Umar Johnson. That is his position.
To the beginning. Here we go.
Now that it's been over a month since he lost his life, I think it's okay for me to speak now. I'm going to insinuate that Nolan's life was taken because I do not believe he accidentally drowned. If he drowned, he was forcibly drowned.
That is Dr. Umar Johnson. That is his position, stated plainly, at a moment when no medical examiner in Mississippi has been willing to state anything at all. He is not the only person asking questions about this case. He is one of the few asking the specific ones. Not who did it, what was done and what was not done, in the hours and days when it still could have been. Those questions are coming. Every one of them has a document behind it. But before we get to what he asked, you need to see what he was reacting to. There is a document in Mississippi that explains how Nolan Wells died. It was finished on July 30th, reviewed, signed, filed. His mother has not read it. She is not permitted to. Think about the shape of that for a moment. Somewhere in an office building,
we did this on a video, a live of mine, where two people have seen the autopsy and everything. Know what's in it, but the mother have not seen it, and they admitted it that they know what's on it. They read it. They got information on it. They got a copy of it or something. They know what's on it, but the mother is not allowed to see it. Make this make some sense. This is some foolery here.
Drawer or a case file or a server, there is a piece of paper that answers the only question Christine Wansley has asked since the first week of July. People have read it. People know. She is not one of them. 6 weeks ago, she reported her 18-year-old son missing after a 4th of July trip he took with people he had known since middle school. 2 days later, a park ranger found him in the water off the northwestern tip of Horn Island. Since then, she has buried him. She stood in a church in Ocean Springs on July 20, while hundreds of people came in sky blue because that was the color his high school team wore, and because she asked them to. She paid for a second examination because she did not believe the first answers she was given. That examination came back undetermined. Not because the pathologist found nothing, but because the parts of her son that would have answered the question were never sent to him. She has watched a fake toxicology report about her child spread across the internet until state officials had to publicly denounce it as fraudulent. She has watched AI-generated videos of her own family circulate and started flagging them herself, and then someone filed an anonymous complaint against her nursing license. A grieving mother asked to defend her professional credentials by a person who would not put their name on the paperwork. The board closed it. Her attorney called it what it was, an attempt to make her go quiet. She did not go quiet. Through all of it, she has asked one question, and it has never once been a question about blame. She has never named a suspect. She has never demanded an arrest. She wants to know how her son died. For a month, everyone with a microphone had something to say about this case. Millions of views were earned on a boy who cannot correct the record about himself. One voice stayed out of it. Dr. Umar Johnson said nothing for 4 weeks. This week he explained why, and then he spoke for over an hour. What he delivered was not a eulogy. It was a list of questions. Some of them hold up against the public record. Some of them do not, and we are going to show you exactly which ones and why. Because after a fraudulent document reached 1 million people, you should not accept anything less from anybody covering this case. But the ones that hold up are the sharpest questions anyone has put to this investigation. 8 of them, and nobody in Jackson County has answered a single one. Question 1, 3 boats went out. Only one has a timeline.
So Warren sat down for an interview with White YouTube's Pet Monkey. And he said that they left for Horns Island the morning of July the 4th, and that it was approximately 30 of them spread across 3 boats. Approximately 30 youth spread across 3 boats. They all went to Horn Island together. They arrived at approximately 11:30. So they left around 9-ish, 8, 9-ish, whatever the case may be. They left the morning of July 4th. They arrived on White Devil's Horn Island at about 11:30. So 3.
Love the way he said, White Devil's Horn Island. And yes, Black Titanic. I feel the same way too. Something ain't right in this case, and it's foul play. Yes. Some foul stuff going on in this case. Exactly right. You're right. What did he say? Devil's Horn Island.
Boats, 30 youth. They went together. I'm not clear on whether the 3 boats came back together or not. That's another question that I have, Art. Did they come back together the same way they left together? Because I'm treating all 30 of those white youth and all 3 of those ships as crime scenes and as suspects. All 3 ships are potential crime scenes. All 3 boats are potential crime scenes, and all 30 youth are potential suspects.
Wait, let me just bring this down. My phone accidentally hit this. My phone accidentally hit it. Okay. Looking in my phone and it's accidentally hit it. Hit the
Jackson
keyboard.
County Sheriff Ledbetter or Jackson County District Attorney Mulrath, I don't know why they decided to separate the boat that Nolan was on. Warren's boat, I don't know why they separated that boat from the other 2 for purposes of investigation and analysis, because those 3 boats operated as a team. And since they went out there as a team, and it hasn't been made clear to me whether or not they came back together as a team, all 30 white youth and all 3 boats should have been part of this investigation, not just the one boat. That is my first big issue with this case. Who decided to separate the other 2 boats and the other 20 or so youth? I got a problem with that, Art, because according to the Cajun Navy, they have no GPS information on the other 2 boats, Art. They have no GPS information on the other 2 boats. Now let's get into this.
No, Black Titanic. I haven't heard not one time that they investigated the boats, nor those kids' cell phone, or took them in for question or nothing. Got to remember, in my opinion, I think those kids are being protected. So therefore, they ain't got to turn shit over. They ain't got to do nothing. No.
The question he asked, 3 vessels crossed to Horn Island that morning as a group. Only one of them has a documented record of where it was and when. Where is the data on the other 2? What the record shows, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources tracked a single boat. Departure from the mainland at 9:56 in the morning. Arrival at the western tip of Horn Island at 11:14. It left the island at 4:31, reached Fort Bayou at 5:52, and docked at 6:06. Those are the timestamps every account of this case is built on. Multiple boats.
Wasn't this boat sinking? Taking in water? If the boat is sinking, what the hell? That's just like, oh, my car is running out of gas. I'm running out of gas. I'm on Freeway 75 in New York City. Well, do you need help? No, I don't need no help. You want me to send it? No, I don't need no help. And then when your car run out of gas, then you're going to be driving it all over town. Or you just got just enough to get you from that spot to home. But then you take this car all to New Jersey. You're going here and you're going there. But I thought your car was running out of gas. Or I thought your boat was sinking. I thought y'all was taking on water. But you declined help. Don't make no sense to me. These boys, these kids ain't doing nothing but lying. That's their alibi.
Boats made that crossing. No agency has publicly stated whether the others were tracked or whether that data exists at all. Why it deserves an answer. Every timeline in this case comes from one vessel. Every news report, every video, every theory posted by a stranger who has never been to Mississippi, all of it rests on the movements of a single boat on a day when several were on that water. This is not a question about anyone's guilt. It is a question about whether the file is complete. And it matters because a family has been asked to sit quietly and accept conclusions drawn from a record that may only cover a fraction of what happened out there. If the other boats were never tracked, someone should say so plainly. If they were, that data should be part of this. Right now, nobody outside the investigation knows which is true. Question 2, the call at 11 o'clock.
You said at 11 o'clock, you called Miss Christine to see if she heard from her son. Warren said, Art, I called Miss Christine to see if she heard from Nolan. She said she had not heard from Nolan. Can I ask you a question, Warren? If you took his phone, how in the hell was his mother supposed to hear from her son when you have the son's phone? Did you tell Miss Christine that you had her son's phone when you called her? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't. Think about that, Art. He called the mother and asked her if she heard from her son. But he knows she didn't hear from her son, Art, because he has her son's phone. How can the mother hear from Nolan when you have Nolan's cell phone and you left him on an island? And I bet you didn't tell her you had his phone. Because if she knew you had his phone, Art, she would not have had to use Life 360 to find the phone. If you had his phone and you called her at 11 o'clock to see if Nolan was okay, why didn't you tell Nolan's mom you had his phone? Why did my sister Christine and my sister Tashima have to use Life 360 to find their son's phone? Because you playing games. You playing games. You playing in our face like we stupid. That's what this is. I don't know if he did it, Art, but he damn sure knows who do. I allege and I believe that all 30 of those white kids on all 3 of them boats know exactly which one of them did it, and the rest of them are covering it up. And guess what, Warren? And the rest of you 30 white kids on those 3 boats, let me explain something to you. Federal hate crimes law, you can go to jail for the rest of your life in case nobody didn't tell you. Federal hate crimes law, you can go to jail for the rest of your life in case nobody told you. Guess what? The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, you can go to jail for up to 30 years. And if Nolan was unalived by more than one person, that constitutes a lynching. That constitutes a lynching. So you can go to jail for up to 30 on the Emmett Till Act. You can go to jail for life on the Matthew Shepard James Byrd Hate Crimes Act. And in the state of Mississippi, Art, if you are an accessory after the fact, not accomplice. Accomplice means you participated in the murder. Accessory means you helped cover it up afterwards. If you are an accessory to the fact after the fact, Art, you can go to jail for up to 20 years, Mississippi law. So they can go to jail for up to 20 years, Mississippi law. Accessory after the fact, you helped to cover up the crime. You can go to jail for 30 years on the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act because more than one of you probably participated in Nolan's unaliving. And under the Matthew Shepard James Byrd Federal Hate Crimes Act, Art, they can go to jail for life. And this is why I need Nolan's step pop and coach to watch what comes out of their mouth and stop trying to help these white kids avoid accountability for what they did to Nolan. Because if the tables will turn, white folks are not going to try to help your child avoid any accountability. So stop the now.
The question he asked, if Nolan's phone was already back on the mainland that night, what was his mother supposed to say when she was asked whether she had heard from her son? What the record shows, his friends say Nolan left the phone on the boat. Warren Hudson has said publicly that he did not know Nolan's passcode and that nobody touched the device until it was handed.
That's a good idea, Leo lady. Ben Crump needs to make sure they get cell phone records of everybody, all of those young boys, so-called friends, all of them. Get their cell phone information. Subpoena, they have all of the information, just like they want information off Nolan's phone, theirs too. And maybe you need to do the mama and the daddies too, because I believe they're part of this, allegedly, in my opinion.
To Christine Wansley at a friend's house. The family located it using Life 360. Why it deserves an answer. Both halves of that are documented, and set side by side, they describe a mother being asked a question she had no way of answering. That does not prove anything. Phones get left behind. Panicked teenagers do not think clearly, and an 18-year-old calling a friend's mother at 11 at night is not evidence of anything except worry. But it has never been explained publicly, and unexplained things grow in the dark. The mutual inspection of that phone, agreed between the district attorney and the family's legal team with the FBI expected to be present, is where this stops being an argument between strangers online and becomes a record. Both sides open.
What you said, granddad's phone too? Oh yeah, we need granddad's phone. Definitely granddad's phone. He know a lot.
Opening the same device at the same time. Whatever is on it, nobody will be able to say the other side had it alone. Question 3. 5 hours on the island. The question he asked.
Let's get into this. According to Warren and Nolan's other so-called white friends, they decided to leave the island around 4:30. So they were roughly on White Devil's Horn Island from 11:30 to 4:30. That is about 5 hours. About 5 hours. Now, one question that has to be asked, Art, why did y'all leave so soon?
Thank you.
Because they party on Horn Island all day long. Y'all didn't leave at sunset.
Seems like if you're going to go on the 4th of July, you want to stay for the fireworks and all this here stuff, wait till it get dark. Oh, hell no, they got out of there so quick. They got out of there quick. Mm-hmm. So why so soon?
Y'all didn't leave at sundown. Y'all left after only being there 5 hours. That's a little suspicious, Art. And I haven't heard anybody ask any of them, why did y'all decide to leave after only being there for 5 hours? Did y'all plan to only be on White Devil's Horn Island for 5 hours? Why did y'all leave at that time? But we'll deal with that later.
They arrived before noon and left before 5 on the 4th of July at a place people usually stay until dark. Why so early? What the record shows. The stated reason is that the boat began taking on water after the bilge pump failed. The sea tow call went out around 4 in the afternoon. The boat departed the island at 4:31. Why it deserves an answer? Those two events sit roughly half an hour apart, and nobody has laid out the order of them in public. Did the boat trouble force an early departure, or was the group already preparing to leave when the water started coming in? That sequence changes how you read everything that followed, including the conversations people say they had with Nolan in that final hour. It is also the simplest question in this entire case. It does not require a laboratory, a subpoena, or a grand jury. It requires one person who was there to say, in order, what happened. 6 weeks on, no such account has been given publicly. Question 4. What the pathologist was never given.
And then let's talk about the autopsy, Art. Let's talk about the autopsy. So the Mississippi State Medical Examiner They do their autopsy July 7th, right? July 7th. And then Nolan's mother requested an independent autopsy, as she should have. They send Nolan's body to Washington, D.C. When the black medical examiner gets the Nolan's corpse, Art, the throat tissue and the lung tissue is gone.
Right.
How is he supposed to determine if Nolan died from being choked out or if Nolan died from drowning if he don't have the throat tissue or the lung tissue, Art? How is he supposed to do his job and y'all didn't send the throat tissue or the lung tissue? And nobody has explained yet whether or not the medical examiner in D.C. is ever going to get the throat tissue.
Because if you send the throat tissue and you send that lung tissue, it will show that he was choked out, and it will show there's no water in the lung. That he was placed in that water. He didn't wash up, he was placed there. Now, go back to my video from yesterday. Go back to my video on yesterday. There's a whole big information on that. A whole big long letter. Go back. Watch it.
Or the lung tissue. And I personally believe, Art, Nolan was deceased before he hit the water. I believe Nolan was deceased before he hit the water. And the reason they held on to the throat tissue and the reason they held on to the lung tissue is they didn't want nobody to know that Nolan was murdered before he hit that water. Just like Emmett Till was murdered before he hit that water. Just like Dr. King's brother, A.D. King, was murdered before he hit that water. Remember, Art, when Dr. King's brother was murdered, Reverend A.D. King, they found him in a swimming pool. They ruled it a drowning. And then one of the paramedics said what, Art? One of the paramedics who took Dr. King's brother out the pool, Art, said he didn't have no water in his lungs. The paramedic said he didn't have no water in his lungs, Art. And plus A.D. King, just like Nolan, A.D. King, just like Nolan, was a great swimmer, Art. Was a great swimmer. They kept them lungs, I believe. They kept the lungs, Art, because they knew that those lungs would have provided evidence of the fact that Nolan may have been deceased before he hit that water. They kept the throat because it may have shown some trauma that Nolan may have gotten choked out. And then you got the red substance
right there
around the back of the head that the DC medical examiner discussed. We don't know if Nolan got hit in the back of the head. We don't know if the blood simply drained to the back of the head. But here's the thing, Art. They say Nolan was found face down in the water. Nolan was found face down in the water, Art. Not only that, Nolan was transported face down to Washington, D.C. So guess what, Art? I have my doubts as to whether or not the red, which is probably blood in the back of the head, the subcutaneous red area, Art, I don't think that has anything to do with the blood draining to the back. You want to know why? Because he was found floating on his face. And he was sent to Washington, D.C. on his face.
He was floating on his face. They was found face down, the body. Then during transport, he was transported face down. Make it make sense.
So the blood couldn't have went backwards, Art. I believe Nolan got hit in the back of the head, and it was that hit that cost him his life. It was that hit that cost him his life. It was that hit that cost him his life. Now, with that being said, Art.
The question he asked, how is a medical examiner supposed to determine whether someone drowned or was choked when the throat and the lungs are not on the table in front of him? What the record shows. Dr. Roger A. Mitchell Jr., president of the National Medical Association and former chief medical examiner for Washington, D.C., examined Nolan on July 10th. He wrote that he could not observe the airway and lungs. He wrote that portions of the neck had been retained.
Why the 10th? You got the body on the 6th. Why you have to wait that long when you know this is very important? This is a very important case. Very important case. Why? You got the body on the 6th, but you wait all the way to the 10th to do your examination. Why? Why? Somebody needs to ask that question. Why?
During the state autopsy and were never released with the body. And he wrote that as a result, he could not rule out injury to the neck as a contributor or a cause of death. Both Mitchell and Dr. Judy Melinek, a board-certified forensic pathologist with no connection to this case, have been clear that retaining tissue in a high-profile or suspicious death is standard practice. Not a conspiracy, not a cover-up. Exactly what a medical examiner is supposed to do. Why it deserves an answer. Standard practice explains why the tissue was kept. It does not explain what has happened since. A mother did not believe the answers she was given, so she paid for her own examination. What she received back was a document that reads, in significant part, as a list of everything the pathologist was not permitted to look at. He has formally requested access to the retained tissue. That request has not been publicly answered. The evidence has not been destroyed. It is preserved in an office in Mississippi. A credentialed physician has asked to examine it. Somebody could say yes. Question 5, why the dispatcher asked if anyone was breathing.
Let me get to the infamous call, and I'm going to wrap this up. They called the Cito company at 4 o'clock. We already talked about the background noise that the audio engineer, our beautiful black sister, Jeanette Brentley, cleaned up. Sounds very suspicious, Art. It sounds like they may have been in the act of unaliving Nolan Wells when they made the call. It sounds like they may have been in the act of unaliving Nolan Wells when they made the call, Art. Allegedly. And guess what, Art? That would make perfect sense. You want to know why? Because the call was bogus. Nothing was wrong with that shit. This is my allegations. This is my belief and my allegations, and I'm standing on it. Nothing was wrong with the boat, Art, and I'm going to explain to you how we know this. Nothing was wrong with that boat. They made that call because they needed an alibi, Art. They needed an alibi. So if Nolan Wells, when Nolan's body was found, Art, if they were able to determine the time of death, when Nolan's body was found, and if they were able to determine the time of death, they say, wait a minute. Nolan was unalived at 4 o'clock. Guess what, Art? They can say our boat was sinking at 4 o'clock and we was on the phone with Cito. The phone call was an alibi, Art. The phone call was a decoy. The phone call was a bait and switch. There was nothing wrong with that boat, Art. So listen,
that's why they needed, that woman asked, is anybody breathing? Anybody breathing? How many adults is on the boat? And everything. She was asking questions. You're thinking, what the hell? What the hell? But she needed to know. Was he still alive?
Oh, that Mississippi is going to find all the audio engineers they can find, Art. We know that Mississippi is going to find all the audio engineers that they can find, Art, to try to say that the background noise cannot be corroborated or verified. You know they're going to say that. They're going to say we can't use the background noise. There's too much going on. We don't care what Sister Jeanette Brantley had to say. We don't care what Sister Jeanette Brantley says it says. I believe it, Art. It makes perfect sense. They called at the time that they were unaliving him to have an alibi and an excuse. But guess what, Art? Even if they throw out the background noise, I believe we still have probable cause to arrest all 30 of those white kids. And I'm going to tell you why, Art. Let's listen to the conversation, Art. Let's listen to the conversation. He calls the operator on Cito. The operator says, how can I help you? And I'm paraphrasing. He says, our boat is sinking and we need a tow. She says, how much water are you in? He says, we're in 17 feet of water. No. We in 31 feet of water. Art, there's a big difference between 17 and 31.
Sure.
There's a big difference between 17 and 31. Why don't you know if you are in roughly 17 feet of water? And why don't you know if you are in roughly 31 feet of water? You are on the boat all the time. This is what they do, Art. They boat all the time. They go to Horn Island all the time. Why don't you know if you're in 17 foot of water?
And how I know that he should know, we hadn't had a boat. It tells you, the instruments on the boat tells you how deep the water is on your boat. And that maybe your boat didn't have it, but we sure had our boat. The boat had it. It tells you the depth of the water. So I don't know about your boat. Maybe my boat is different, but
or 31 foot of water. 31 foot of water. But Art, it gets better than this, Art. It gets better. The Cito operator, Art, says, do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Guess what he said? We don't need the Coast Guard. Art, if your boat is sinking, do you care who comes to rescue you? If your boat is sinking, if I'm sinking in 31 feet of water, you can call the Coast Guard, you can call the aliens, you can call the Snow Bunny boat, you can call whoever you want to call if my boat is sinking. He told the operator, we don't need the Coast Guard. Who does that, Art? Who says we don't need the Coast Guard if we sink it? So she says, okay. She says, how many adults are on the boat? Pay attention to this, Art. We caught him in another lie. Listen to this. She says, how many adults are on the boat? He said, quote, there are no adults on the boat. He lied, Art. Second lie. First lie, he said, Nolan said, I'm staying behind to hang out with Katie. Y'all can leave me. Katie said Nolan told her, I'm headed back to the boat because my friend's about to leave. That was lie number one. That was lie number one. You lied and said Nolan said he was going to stay behind with Katie. That was a lie. Lie number two, the CETO operator asked you, how many adults are on the boat? He said there are no adults on the boat, Art. Why did he lie? Why did he lie? She said, how many people on the boat? He said, everybody on the boat is under 21. Art, she said, that was not my question. Art, she begged him to tell her how many people are on the boat. She said, that's not my question. How many people are on the boat? She said, is anybody breathing on the boat? He said, a lot of people breathing on the boat. She said, is there anybody living on the boat? He said, yes, people are alive on the boat. Art, I would like to investigate her. She didn't do no crime. I want to know what made that operator say, is anybody breathing on the boat?
On that boat.
What made her say, is anybody alive on the boat, Art? What did she hear in the background?
Those was codes. I tell y'all, those was the codes. They're talking in code. And half of y'all don't get it.
To make her ask him, is anybody breathing on the boat? That don't sound like a regular question. And then she said, is anybody living on the boat? It's almost like she could feel something was going on. I would love to know if those were standard questions, Art. I would love to know if those were standard questions or if she had a hunch that something fishy was going on. Now check this out, Art. She asked him a third or fourth time. He would not answer the question, Art. He would not answer the question. How many people are on the boat? Guess what he said, Art? Like 7.
That don't.
Like
a man don't say
7.
the word like.
Art, the boat only holds 8. They went out there that morning with 8. 7 Caucasians and Nolan. 7 Caucasians and Nolan. Art, they left with 7, right? When she said how many people on the boat, Art, why did he say like 7? Why didn't he say 7? It's only 7 people. Why couldn't he say 7? Why did he?
That's something a woman would say, a young girl, teenager say, like this and like that and like everything is like. But he's saying like because he don't want to say, oh, he's still alive.
Say like 7. You know why he said like 7, Art? Because he didn't know if Nolan was still alive or not. He didn't know if Nolan was still alive or not. So let me say like 7 in case he survives. Because Art, if you call me up and say, Dr. Umar, how many people at the basketball game? I can't count them all, Art. I'm gonna say like 100. It's like 100. Because I don't know. It could be a little less than 100. It could be a little more than 100. I'm gonna say it's like 100. But Art, if it's only 7 people on the boat, I don't need to say like 7. I could just say 7. He didn't want to give her a direct answer. Why didn't he want to give her a direct answer, Art? Because he knows it should have been 8 people on that boat. He know it should have been 8 people on that boat. So he said like 7 because he didn't want to say 7 so nobody can ask him where the hell was Nolan. Nolan's life was taken between 3:30 and 4:30, and they know exactly how and who. They know exactly how and who, Art. And they took the phone and the keys to get rid of any evidence. They took the phone and the keys to get rid of any evidence. And if Sister Christine and Sister Tashima didn't go to that girl's house to get that phone, they would have discarded it, Art. They were going to discard the keys in the phone and act like they never even had them either. Now, I'm going to give you this one piece, Art, and I'm going to leave it alone.
The question he asked, what made a trained emergency dispatcher stop her script and ask a caller whether there was a living person on that boat? What the record shows, the exchange is on the released recording. She asked how many adults and children were aboard. He said there were no children. She asked again how many adults. He said there were 0 adults on board. She stopped and asked whether there was nobody on the boat at all. He answered that nobody there was over the age of 21. Only after she asked whether there was a person, a living individual, someone breathing, did he say yes and give the number as 7. She never reacts to anything in the background of that call. When she transfers to the local tow captain, she describes it as a group of kids panicking on a sinking boat. Why it deserves an answer. Read plainly. That exchange is a teenager answering a legal definition of adult, while a dispatcher is asking for a head count for a rescue. That is probably all it is. But she is the only adult who heard that call as it happened, live, in real time. Without enhancement software, without a transcript, without a month of people telling her what to listen for. Everyone arguing about that recording is arguing about a file. She was on the line. As far as anything public shows, nobody has asked her what she heard. Question 6. Turning down the Coast Guard.
The CETO operator, Art, says, do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Guess what he said? We don't need the Coast Guard. Art, if your boat is sinking, do you care who comes to rescue you? If your boat is sinking, if I'm sinking in 31 feet of water, you can call the Coast Guard, you can call the aliens, you can call the Snow Bunny boat, you can call whoever you want to call if my boat is sinking. He told the operator, we don't need the Coast Guard. Who does that, Art? Who says we don't need the Coast Guard if we sinking? So she says, okay. She says, how many adults are on the boat? Pay attention to this, Art. We caught him in another lie. Listen to this. She says, how many adults are on the boat? He said, quote, there are no adults on the boat. He lied, Art. Second lie. First lie, he said, Nolan said, I'm staying behind to hang out with Katie. Y'all can leave me. Katie said Nolan told her, I'm headed back to the boat because my friend's about to leave. That was lie number one. That was lie number one. You lied and said Nolan said he was going to stay behind with Katie. That was a lie. Lie number two, the CETO operator asked you, how many adults are on the boat? He said there are no adults on the boat, Art. Why did he lie? Why did he lie?
But not just he lied about that. He lied about when Tatum asked him when was the last time he saw Nolan. He said 3 o'clock. Then at 4 o'clock, they made the CETO call, right? But at 4:30, they was leaving, or 4:31, they was leaving, or 4:30. But he said, Warren also said that everybody was telling Warren to get on the boat. BART was yelling at him to get on the boat. Get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, he's not getting on the boat. And everybody, so when did that exchange take place? You didn't say you heard somebody say that. You witnessed that yourself. So that 3 o'clock wasn't the last time you saw him. You saw him right before y'all left. And I do believe he was on that boat or on somebody's boat. In my personal opinion, that's why he's no longer here.
Said, how many people on the boat? He said, everybody on the boat is under 21. Art, she said, that was not my question. Art, she begged him to tell her how many people are on the boat. She said, that's not my question. How many people are on the boat? She said, is anybody breathing on the boat? He said, a lot of people breathing on the boat. She said, is there anybody living on the boat? He said, yes, people are alive on the boat. Art, I would like to investigate her. She didn't do no crime. I want to know what made that operator say, is anybody breathing on the boat?
On the boat.
What made her say, is anybody alive on the boat, Art? What did she hear in the background? What did that operator hear in the background to make her ask him, is anybody breathing on the boat? That don't sound like a regular question. And then she said, is anybody living on the boat? It's almost like she could feel something was going on. I would love to know if those were standard questions, Art. I would love to know if those were standard questions or if she had a hunch that something fishy was going on. Now check this out, Art. She asked him a third or fourth time. He would not answer the question, Art. He would not answer the question. How many people are on the boat? Guess what he said, Art? Like 7. Like 7. Art, the boat only holds 8. They went out there that morning with 8, 7 Caucasians and Nolan. 7 Caucasians and Nolan. Art, they left with 7, right? When she said how many people on the boat, Art, why did he say like 7? Why didn't he say 7? It's only 7 people. Why couldn't he say 7? Why did he say like 7? You know why he said like 7, Art? Because he didn't know if Nolan was still alive or not.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know if Nolan was still alive or not. So let me say like 7 in case he survives. Because Art, if you call me up and say, Dr. Umar, how many people at the basketball game? I can't count them all, Art. I'm going to say like 100. It's like 100. Because I don't know. It could be a little less than 100. It could be a little more than 100. I'm going to say it's like 100. But Art, if it's only 7 people on the boat, I don't need to say like 7. I could just say 7. He didn't want to give her a direct answer. Why didn't he want to give her a direct answer, Art? Because he knows it should have been 8 people on that boat. He know it should have been 8 people on that boat. So he said like 7 because he didn't want to say 7 so nobody can ask him where the hell was Nolan. Nolan's life was taken between 3:30 and 4:30, and they know exactly how and who. They know exactly how and who, Art. And they took the phone and the keys to get rid of any evidence. They took the phone and the keys to get rid of any evidence. And if Sister Christine and Sister Tashima didn't go to that girl's house to get that phone, they would have discarded it, Art. They were going to discard the keys in the phone and act like they never even had them either. Now, I'm going to give you this one piece, Art, and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to give you this one piece, Art, and I'm going to leave it alone. As I said, I'm very disappointed in the fact that Sheriff Ledbetter and District Attorney Morath are not investigating all 30 of those children. I'm disappointed that all 3 boats were not treated like a crime scene. Now, my primary theory, they unalived him on the boat, threw him over to make it look like a drowning. They unalived him on the boat or on land before they took off, threw him in the water to make it look like a drowning. But I'm going to say this to you, Art. I have another theory as well. I got 2 theories. That's my first theory. Let me give you my second theory, and we're done on this. There's a strong chance, Art, that after they unalived Nolan, they held on to the body overnight and dumped it the next day, Art. Or they took the body to one of the other islands around Horn Island and dumped the body. And let me tell you why I believe this, Art. Let's go back to Emmett Till. Let's go to Emmett Till, Art.
They had to store that body. Remember when they kept going all around, all over places? They had to take that body somewhere. In my opinion, just my opinion, and this could be alleged, but in my opinion, they needed somewhere cool, somewhere where they can keep that body overnight. And then they took that body back out. After everybody knew it was missing, but they took it back out. I think around before everybody got out there to start looking. I was there around 5 o'clock, somewhere along up in there, or before. Yes, they did. Just in my opinion. And my opinion, I'm just a housewife. I'm not a detective or nothing. It's just my opinion. And it's allegedly. And I'm saying this for educational purpose. Okay? Just my opinion.
Till was unalived on August 28th. They bob wired Emmett Till to a 75-pound cotton gin, 1955. August 28th, 1955, Emmett Till was unalived, and they bob wired him to a 75-pound cotton gin and threw him in the Tallahatchie River. The Tallahatchie River, Art, is a freshwater river. Horn Island is on the Gulf of Mexico. It's salt water. Salt water is rougher and more active and more buoyant than freshwater, Art. Follow me on this. Emmett Till got thrown in the Tallahatchie, bob wired to a 75-pound cotton gin, Art, and his body made it up to the surface on August the 31st. Even though he was tied to a 75-pound cotton gin in a river, his body floated up to the surface in 3 days, Art. Emmett Till was 14. Nolan Wells is 18. If Nolan Wells was unalived and dumped immediately on July 4th, Art, we should have saw his body on July 5th. If Emmett Till's body can make it to the top in 3 days, tied to a cotton gin, Art, why did Nolan Wells' body only surface the morning of July 6th? I think there is a strong possibility they held onto his body, Art, because they were afraid that if they dumped it immediately, it would surface too soon. If they dumped Nolan's body too soon, it would have surfaced before they were ready. That body could have floated back, Art, before they made it back home. They all go to jail. They could have held onto his body, Art, and dumped it on July 5th or dumped it the morning of July 6th. Because according to science, Art, Nolan's body should not have surfaced for 3 days. Or, according to what happened to Emmett Till, it should have surfaced within a day. The fact that it took Nolan Wells' body 41 hours before we saw it, I think that body might have gotten dumped, Art. I think they might have held onto Nolan Wells' body and dumped it a day or two later. And that's why the other 2 boats are important to the investigation, Art. How do we know Nolan wasn't unalived on one boat and held on a second boat?
That is true.
How do we know that? How do we know a second boat didn't take Nolan Wells?
Each boat where you there's a thing where you can keep your fish, like fresh fish when you catch them, cool down up under. How do we know that they didn't put his body down there to keep it cool, or take it to some other place and keep it cool? Or you never know.
Corpse to one of them other islands, and then the body floated back, Art. Why are we not investigating all 3 boats and all 30 white children?
Why is Mississippi not investigating? Why is Ledbetter not investigating? Why are nobody in Mississippi investigating this? You know why? Cover up. Just my opinion. And, just my opinion. Cover up.
I'm going to tell you like this. For that boy to not tell that sea tow operator how many people was on that boat, and she asked him 3 times, and the fact he lied and said there was no adults, and then he still didn't answer her question and said everybody under 21, and she had to repeatedly say that was not my question. Why are you unwilling to tell her it's only 7 people and not 8 people? Last thing I'm gonna say, Art, shout out to Tyler Perry, Terrell Owens, Colin Kaepernick for helping to pay for the funerals, autopsy, as well as reward money for information leading to an arrest. But guess what, Art? That reward money needs to be more than $175,000. Mississippi is the poorest state in America. 1 in 4 people live in poverty. We need that reward money, Art, to go up to $1 million. I need LeBron James, Rihanna, Tiger Woods, Venus, Serena, Kanye. Get that reward money up to $1 million, Art. We need the reward money up to $1 million so those white folks will start talking. 175,000, Art, is not enough money. We need $1 million. Guess how they found the 3 civil rights workers in Philadelphia, Mississippi in 1964, Art? Remember the Ku Klux Klan murdered those 3 workers? Cheney, Goodman, and Swerner, Mississippi burning? Mississippi burning? Guess how they found out? An undercover FBI agent tipped off the FBI to where those 3 bodies were buried. Do the FBI have any undercover officers operating in this case? Does the state of Mississippi Bureau of Investigation have any undercover officers operating in this case? We need some undercover agents to weave into the lives of these young people and find out exactly what happened to Nolan Wells. And that's why Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton need to demand a federal takeover of this investigation immediately.
Thank you. Woo! That is true. I told you. Now, let me just tell y'all guys. I told you, I'm not a fan of Umar Johnson. Umar. I'm not. I drag him whenever I get ready, okay? And I dragged him many times in the past. But the man is on to something when it comes to this. He may not know how to take care of his own life. He may not know how to be a father to his own kids and take care of his own kids, and he full of bull crap, and he a scammer and all this here stuff. But when it comes to this case, he's asking some questions, some tough questions, and he's bringing food for thought, some stuff that other people been saying, but haven't put it all together in one big interview. And I thank him for that. All right. And I do want to say to the Nolan Wells family, the whole family, not just, but when I say the Nolan Wells family, I do want to say to the family that I know today is your son's birthday. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells. And for the mother, Christine, Miss Christine, I wish there's something that we could do to ease your heart. But I know the only thing that could ease your heart is for you to know exactly what happened to your son, or for your son to be with you. To be there with you. Because he should not be gone this soon, this early. He should be at home with his mother and his father. And guys, prayers go up to both the mother and father. I know their heart is breaking on this day. It's the 19th of Nolan's birthday. It's a day of remembrance. Remember Nolan Wells. He should be celebrating his birthday himself. Nolan Wells should be celebrating his birthday today. Surrounded by all his friends and his family and acting all crazy and just enjoying himself, looking forward to the future. Instead, we honor his memory by demanding the truth. The truth. Ledbetter and all the other officials, the mayor, and that woman that whatever her name is, that sit there and act like she can't say nothing. Y'all say more for any white person that comes up under mysterious circumstances of a death. But then when a black person, y'all don't say a thing. His story reminds us that silence protects no one, and that justice delayed, justice denied. So tonight, guys, let's make sure we send prayers up for this family, for Nolan Wells' family. Okay? And candles are all lit in his name. If you haven't lit a candle, light a candle in his name. Even if you light a candle and put it on your table or in your bedroom or in your bathroom, light a candle in his name and say his name when you do it. Let it be known that we're still going to keep bringing up his name, and we're still going to keep digging and looking and trying to find the truth and try to look for justice, get justice for him. Nolan Xavier Wells, light still burns. His story will not fade because they don't want us to know. They want to push it to the side. His story would not fade away, guys. We're going to keep him in our heart, and we're going to make sure that we keep pushing. The more we push, the more we go live on this story, the more videos that we make. They want us to just be quiet and move on to something on a reality TV show. They want us to talk about anything but this. But we got to not do that. We got to stay strong. We got to look forward. We got to look forward to his name. We got to keep saying his name every day. Because that could be your child. That could be your child. That could have been my child. Y'all get it? So whatever you're trying to do, when you're trying to hurt somebody that's trying to bring out a story, the story of his life, just for selfish reasons, because somebody told you to, not to click the like button, not to share the video. Do that make sense? Do that make sense to you? No, it don't make sense to me. But like I said, the devil is in a lot of people, not just in Mississippi, but the devil is all over the internet. But I'm not going to let the devil stop me from sharing this young man's story. I'm not going to let the devil stop me from bringing his name up, bringing up, sharing new information every time I get it, or every time I see new information or get information, I'm still going to bring it up. Whether y'all are here to watch it or to click or to share this information or not, I'm not going to let you all win, because letting you all win will keep people from hearing his story. Black Titanic said we are resilient people. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, guys, keep your story in the forefront. Don't let his story fade away. Don't let them push it up under the rug. Don't let people shut you down. You keep his legacy alive for his family. If you don't do it for nobody else, do it for his mother, do it for his father, do it for his siblings. Keep pushing for answers, accountability, and change. That just don't happen to other people's kids. Because we got people all over Mississippi that they say drowned without an investigation being done. Oh, that she or he hung himself, and they haven't even done an investigation. And knowing that child couldn't get up there, it would take a truck, a ladder, and everything to get that child up there. And you think we believe stuff like that? We don't believe Nolan died on his own. We don't believe he drowned. At least I know I don't. We must keep him alive. His name is important. Thank you. That is true. Good night, y'all. Great video, Pink. And I'm getting ready to go too. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for sharing this video, and keep the video alive by hitting that like button, and by sharing this video. All right, that's the least I can ask of you. Thank you guys, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful the rest of your night. Enjoy. Bye-bye, guys.